Greetings, my name is Harold Daly. I'm a retired pastor in the United Methodist Church, and I am the owner of Living Waters Baptismals. What you have before you are two of our Living Waters Baptismals. The one on my right is our original round baptismal. It is round to remind us that God's grace and God's love is endless without beginning or end. We use a white porcelain ceramic basin, upper basin, that's elevated so you can see the water, the visibility of the water. And that's the white is to remind us of the purity of God. In the center of the basin is a light, an LED underwater light that's very bright, and it shines forth to illuminate the water and illuminate anything that is above and around the baptismal. I'm told that photographers love this because it lights up the children, lights up the baby, lights up the pastor, lights up those being baptized. Here is something new, something we've just introduced. It's a square and more traditional design, again with a porcelain ceramic basin, again with a light mounted in the center and the water source. So the light sort of emanates from where the water comes from, reminding us of, that God is the source of all light, and that He is the source of all that we have. All of our Living Waters baptismals come with two different water effects, visual effects. This one, where the water boils up on the surface and there's more visibility and more sound, is called the gushing spring. And it looks a little bit like a spring of water welling up and recirculating and overflowing. This one we call the crystal pool because it is quiet, it is just crystal clear, the water comes up and overflows, but it makes very, very little sound. And to demonstrate that just for a moment, I'll be quiet and I'll turn this one off and you'll see the difference in the sound. Here there's just a little trickle of water as it comes up and recirculates and moves and slides down, hugging the bowl. Most of the sound is being created by this baptismal, by the gushing spring. So depending on your choice, your visual choice, whatever you like best, it's really up to you. And both, like I said, every single baptismal comes with the device mounted inside. And it's also very, very easy to put in or take out. Just as an example, I'll show you here. I'll just take the diverter out of this particular baptismal, out of the round one, and I'll just transfer it over to the square one, just so you can see how easy it is to do. And again, this device is stored just inside the cabinet. Now, I've made a little bit of a mess, so excuse me. Another thing that, some pastors really, really like pouring water during the blessing of the water. And I want to point out that the light source in the middle is just really, really good for illuminating the water. When you pour, you can see it illuminates the water, even the stream of water. And again, it's just absorbed into the baptismal because of the endless pool design. And that works equally well on either baptismal, where the water just cuts the surface, goes in, and is absorbed by the baptismal, and is well illuminated. These particular baptismals are furnished here, as you see, in our standard oak design. This is a natural finish oak. It's been stained with basically a clear stain, a natural oak stain that brings out the grain and makes the wood look better. And then they're coated with 6 coats of polyurethane, clear polyurethane, to make them virtually waterproof. The wood cabinets, of course, the baptismal itself, everything in it, all the equipment, everything is waterproof, designed for many, many, many years of service. The round baptismal is also available in cedar. If you can get it in solid cedar instead of the solid oak and oak plywood, oak veneered plywood that is contained within these units. But all the trim, the solid top rings, everything else is all solid oak. So they're very, very durable. Every baptismal has leveling casters built into it. On the square one, they're built on the inside. You open the whole back side opens up. There's a big door, and you can adjust them. There's just a little thumb screw on them where you can adjust them. You just roll the baptismal into the position you want it to be in. take the cord and extend it to an outlet. If the outlet's directly below it, you can plug it in below the baptismal. But most of the time, unless it's the application's being designed for this kind of baptismal, the plug won't be right where you want it. But they come with almost any length cord you need, so that's easy to do. But anyway, the leveling casters allow it to be portable, where you can keep it parked in one place, but bring it perhaps out to a more central location when you're doing a baptism. And then when you get it where you want it, you just lower the pads with the little thumb screws on the casters, and rubber pads lower to the floor, and they secure the baptismal firmly in location. So that if somebody leans against it or whatever, it can't move. It makes it very, very stable, very, very secure, and very, very safe. The baptismals can be finished. The oak baptismals can be finished in a wide variety of stains. I said these are just natural oak finish, which is pretty common, but it could be a red oak or a walnut or some other color stain could be used. I use Minwax stains, and most of your Lowe's stores have a chart. They sell Minwax stains, and you can kind of pick perhaps a color that you think would go best with your church furnishings. We cannot guarantee to exactly match existing church furnishings, because sometimes churches are old and there's no telling what stain was actually originally used, or how much it's faded, or wood grains, wood types, wood age. There's just so many variables. We cannot guarantee an exact match to yours, but we are willing to stain a baptismal in any stain color that you prefer, and there's no additional cost for that. These baptismals are designed to last for a long, long, long time. The pumps are solid stainless steel. The lighting is low voltage solid brass, LED, designed for like 50,000 hours of service. The pumps are 3 speeds, so you have adjustability. Everything is designed to modern codes and safety, and they're just extremely solid, extremely well made. And very, very simple, actually. They will last for decades in your church. They're also very, very safe. They're ground fault, circuit interrupt protected, and the lighting and the controls are all 12 volt. There's just a simple push button on the side, a little push button that's illuminated to turn them on and turn them off. And that's what I can show you now. I'll turn these two off, and I'll show you what the lids look like that go on them. The oak baptismal is available with a matching oak lid, and the oak baptismal is available with a matching oak lid. All of the lids are optional and not necessarily needed. Some churches will use these to store the baptismal, maybe in the sanctuary or in another location, and the lids basically function to keep dust out, and they look pretty. But they are not to be operated with the lids on them, although the lids have a safety ring, a drip edge inside. So if someone, when it's full, some kid or a well-intended staff member turns it on and the lid's still on it, it'll keep the water in the baptismal instead of going everywhere and making a mess. So that's just a safety feature that's built into them. But many churches, the church I attend, they like to have the baptismal running all through the service, because just the added life and visibility, it just reminds them that God is ever present, God's grace and love is ever flowing. And so that is really the primary thing behind the flowing water baptismal. In the early church, baptisms were done usually in living water, in flowing water, rivers, lakes, streams, where the water was not stagnant, but moving and live. And I like to think that with God's grace that we are to be alive in the Spirit, and the water should be always God's love and presence should be always ever flowing through us, and through us all the time. And the flowing water reminds me that God's grace is not to be kept in us, but to flow through us. As Jesus told the woman at the well, that he would give her water that would be like a spring flowing from within us to eternal life. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope you will consider a Living Waters Baptismal for your church. God bless you.